Hey, it's Lockie, and this is my review of the 2022 Salomon Ultimate Ride. This was one of my favourite boards a few years ago, and this new version is even better. After demoing the original Ultimate Ride a few years ago, I bought it a season or two later when I wanted a stiffer upgrade to my very broken in huck knife. You'll be able to find that original review if you look back on my channel. I liked that board because it had a very stable feel, great edge hold, and was stiff enough to do everything that I wanted. My guess is that the older twin version of the Ultimate Ride crossed up too much with the Huck Knife Pro. They both had the same core, base, sidewalls and twin shape. From 2021, they had a few changes. Most of the ingredients that made the original version so good stayed, but it now has a tapered twin shape and a setback stance. It comes in 5 sizes from 153 up to 164. It still has the quad camber profile, which overall is regular camber. But in detail, it has a small amount of camber between the feet, a large amount outside the feet, and a little bit of rocker at the contact points. It has a fairly wide waist width, a fast sintered base, and a bunch of stuff in the core that add up to give it quite a stiff flex. I was riding the 155cm 2022 Ultimate Ride in Whistler in mainly firm spring conditions. I was using medium Burton cartel bindings set to angles of positive 12 and negative 9 with a width of about 21 inches. I'm 6 foot tall and weigh 72 kilos or about 158 pounds. Each year at demos, I'd ride this board just for fun, so I already knew what it offered, but I also felt it was a really good baseline board to see how close other boards could come to how this rides. I like the feel of turns on the old Ultimate Ride, and this new one feels a notch better. The 155 that I rode has 5mm of taper, which means that the nose is 5mm wider than the tail. It's easy and smooth starting a turn, gives you a very stable feel throughout the whole thing, and it wants to push you or spring you out of the end of it. At high speed, it's a very stable board. It tones down everything that you ride on, so big bumps feel small, and small ones just seem to disappear. Although apparently this one is a little softer than the older model, to me it feels stiffer, especially in the tail. If you can push through the stiff flex, it will pop you back hard. Whenever I got a jump wrong, or my mate was in the wrong position, I was able to save myself with a stiff tail. Torsionally, it isn't crazy stiff, which I think might be what is helping turns and quick adjustments feel a bit easier than you'd expect on something so stiff. I only rode this for a few laps in the park. It feels very solid on landings and jumps. It's scarier on rails. Switch feels fine, even with a bit of taper and the setback stance. It isn't a super different feel. You can get used to it without much of a problem. I didn't ride this current season's model in powder, though I did ride the 2021 model in some nice snow. The nose did seem to want to hold itself up on the snow, but the best thing I felt was the strong tail. You could push as hard as you wanted into it, and it held everything together. If you're a rider who wants a stiff board to ride a bit of everything, pow, groomers, steep stuff, then this would handle it all without a problem. You'd want to be a pretty confident rider though, and be used to camber boards. If you aren't, then I'd expect this board will probably catch you out a few times and scare you until you get used to it. Although there aren't any specific wide models, they are all quite wide, so this is still going to be an option if you're a heavier rider with big boots. Looks like this is going to be the last season that the Ultimate Ride is around, which is a shame. Seems that a new high path is sort of going to take its place as the stiffer ride everything board from now on. If you've got any questions about the Ultimate Ride, leave them in the comments below. And if you're looking for any snowboard gear, have a search for it on snowboardrobot.com/search to see if you can find any shops that have it on sale.